Hi friends, welcome to Kodai Linux. I am your facilitator Murali. As a part of today's session, we are going to learn about the filter command. We are going to learn part 1 of the filter command. We are going to learn grep command in parts. The objectives is to learn grep command. What does grep do? It prints lines from input files that contains matching patterns. When grep is issued with a pattern and a file, it looks for this pattern in each and every line of the file, from the first line to the last line, and whichever line contains the matching pattern, it takes action on those lines, and the default action is displaying those lines. Grep being a filter command, when it is issued without any arguments, it reads input from the standard file, that is the standard input file, that is the keyboard. Variants of grep, there are certain variants of grep, like you have the grep, apart from that you have the E grep or grep hyphen capital E, you have the F grep or a grep hyphen capital F, you have the R grep or grep hyphen small r. We would be learning subsequently all these variants in the subsequent sessions. Options of grep, in this session we are going to learn these options. Options concerned with matching control. Matching control means options that are associated with the pattern. I told you that grep looks for the pattern in a file. So basically grep followed by pattern followed by file you will be giving. So these options are related to the pattern that we are specifying. So you have the -e option. So -e option, if you want to specify multiple patterns with the grep command, then you need to prefix each and every pattern with the -e option. Grep now by default doesn't support multiple patterns. It can support only one pattern. But if you want to specify multiple patterns, then you can prefix each and every pattern with the -e option. Then you have the -f option. You have another way of giving multiple patterns, like you can put all the patterns that you want to match into a file, every pattern in a line, and you can specify this file with the grep command, file name with the grep command, prefixed with the -f option. Then grep would read from the file the patterns one by one. It would read the patterns from the file. There is an -i option. When you are specifying -i option, what grep would do, when it is looking for the matching pattern, it would ignore the case. Then you have the -v option or -invert match. Output lines that doesn't contain matching pattern from input files. It would output only those lines which don't contain the matching pattern. Then you have the -w option or word -regex. Match those lines from input files wherein pattern occurs as whole word. -x or line -regex. Match those lines wherein the line contains only the pattern and no other characters. Only those lines from the input file which strictly contains the pattern and doesn't contain anything else. Those lines would be matched by grep. Now let us start working with these options. Let us start working with the grep command. So grep, then I want to look for the pattern rain. I press enter. Grep is a filter command, so I don't have to specify the input file. If I don't specify any input file, then it would read the input from the keyboard, the standard input file, that is the keyboard. Okay, now let me enter some line of input. It doesn't find the matching pattern in this line. Hence, it doesn't select this line. Next. Yes, this line contains the matching pattern, and hence this grep selects this line for taking action. What is the default action? Printing the line. Control D or terminating grep. Next, let us look at the -i or the ignore case option. Grep -i, again the same rain. Then there is a lot of rain. Yes. And rain is good. This also matches. Why? Because it is a case insensitive match. It's a case insensitive match, and hence it will be ignoring the case while looking for the matching pattern. So that is the ignore option. That is -i option. If you are not specifying -i option, that when you are entering a line wherein the case is a different case, it will not match. Then what if we want to match multiple patterns in a file? Okay, now let us come to a file. Okay, ls-l employee okay, ls-l. Oh, we are in the subdirectory ls-l my employee dot data, right? So cat my employees dot data. There are around 100 records, and employees have various designations. So let us suppose that I want to get all the employees whose designation is software engineer, that is SC. And what I do, grep SC my employees dot data. So it displays all the SC records. Okay, instead of SC, let us look for CA. Grep CA my employees data. So it gets me all the records of all the employees whose designation is CA. Okay. But I want a case insensitive match. I want grep to ignore the case. What I do? Grep small I then CA. Let me give C small a. So then maybe here all the records have got capital CA. Maybe some records may have small ca, capital C and small a, all those things. So I want to ignore the case. So while giving the pattern, I am giving like this, capital C and small a. Still it will match all the patterns, but wherever CA comes, it matches, right? See in the Salab Love, that employee's designation is not CA, but still it displays. Why? That name Salab that contains CA. Similarly, see even employee number 32, employee number 54, employee number 76, employee number 80. All these employees, their designation is not CA, but still it displays. We have a workaround for that, but we will learn about that workaround when we learn about the regular expressions. With the help of regular expressions, we should be able to do the workaround. Okay. So that time we would be learning. But you may wonder why in the first instance, that is grep capital CA my employees dot data, there why it display those lines? Because there it is not ignore case. But here now in this execution, I am ignoring the case. When you are ignoring the case, even capital C small a, that also matches. See, here if you are not ignoring the case, no, the thing is that it will not display the employees whose designation is CA, but whose name contains CA, right? Okay, that is the behavior of it. But first instance, what I did, I tried to match capital C, capital A, and without ignoring the case. Okay, when you are giving capital C, capital A, but ignoring the case, then also all those lines will be displayed because you are ignoring the case, right? But there is a workaround wherein you want to match exactly those employees whose designation is CA, Yes, we can do that, but we would be understanding that later on in the subsequent session when we will be learning about the regular expressions. Next, if we want to match multiple patterns, how do we do that? Okay, I want to match CA as well as CEO. Okay, I want to match CA as well as CEO. Okay, both the patterns. Then what I do? If we want to match multiple patterns, then our -e option would help us. Okay, CA -e CEO my employees.data. Okay, so in case if you are not giving -e option, what happens? It will understand only CA as the pattern to be matched. CEO also it will think that it is a file. There is a file called CEO. That is why grep is telling that grep CEO no such file or directory. Okay, CEO thinks that even CEO is a file. So it checks, is there a file called CEO? It is not there. So no such file or directory. So it looks for the pattern CA in the file myemployees.data. So only the immediately following argument it understands as pattern. Grep understands as pattern. All the subsequent arguments it understands as files. So how do we make grep to understand that yes, whatever I want to be understood as pattern, please understand that as pattern. How do I tell that to grep? By prefixing all those things with -e. So whatever arguments I am prefixing with -e, grep understands those arguments as patterns. So this is how grep supports multiple patterns. So now, yes, it has understood them as multiple patterns. It has looked for the pattern CA in the input file as well as it has looked for the pattern CEO in the input file, and it has displayed all those matching records. But rather than specifying the pattern on the command line itself, patterns in the command line itself, what if I want to specify the patterns in an input file and then give that file name as argument instead of the patterns themselves? When this would be required, maybe you want to match numerous patterns, some 10 or 15 patterns, and this is very standard, and this set of patterns you may want to match many a times, and you don't want to specify that big command line on the command line, that big command on the command line. In that case, your -f option would be handy for you. So let us understand how do we do that. Let me clear the screen. Let me create a file called desix or jobs.txt. vi jobs.txt. Here I am entering CA, CEO. Okay, then CA, CEO, VP. Fine. So these 3 lines of input I have entered. Okay, cat jobs.txt, CA, CEO, VP. Now what I do, grep -smaller jobs.txt, then myemployees.data. So what it has done, grep has opened the file jobs.txt, looked for the patterns one by one, and then got all the lines that contain the matching patterns from the file myemployees.data. The only difference between the previous execution of grep, wherein every pattern I prefixed with -e option, and this is that instead of looking for the pattern in the command line itself, the multiple patterns in the command line itself, it has opened the file jobs.txt and looked for the patterns in this file. And here the precondition is that every pattern should be separated by a new line character, not space character or anything else. It should be new line character. So a pattern should be occurring one in each line. Then it would be able to look for the patterns from this file. So, and we need to prefix the file containing the patterns with the -f option. So this way we can match multiple patterns. So there are 2 ways of matching multiple patterns with grep. One is prefixing every pattern on the command line with the hyphen E option, and another is specifying all the patterns that you want to match per line in an input in a particular file, and then prefixing that file name with the hyphen F option in the command line. Okay. Next, let us understand about the hyphen W option, that is the whole word search. Whole word search. So let us try to understand what is this hyphen W option. So first of all, before understanding about the hyphen W option, let us try to understand what is this whole word. Whole word can be understood as a word that is delimited by non-word characters. A word that is bound on both the sides by non-word characters. Whole word is a word that is bound by non-word characters on both the sides. Whole word is a word that is bound by non-word characters on both the sides. Okay, what are the next question comes? Which are word characters and which are non-word characters? Word characters are those characters. Word characters are lowercase alphabets, uppercase alphabets, digits, and underscore. These characters are word characters. All the other characters are non-word characters. Non-word characters. All the other characters other than the above characters that I mentioned are non-word characters. Okay. Okay, for example, see, let us suppose I have something like iron, but before iron there is one ampersand. After iron there is a space. Yes. And then something else. Then this is a this iron is a whole word. Here iron is a whole word. Why? Before the iron, there is an ampersand, which is a non-word character. After iron, there is a non-word character, that is a space. Okay, hence iron is a whole word. Okay, so let us suppose that here I am having something like computer, but I am having something like my. I am having something like my, then followed by computer. Okay, then some other letters. So here computer is not a whole word. Why? Because computer is bound by word characters on both the sides. So hence computer is not a whole word. Okay. So now let us look for the whole word match. Okay. So grep. Okay. hyphen W. Okay. Now let me look for the same, that C. Okay, hyphen W, then I am giving hyphen I also. Okay, C or C small e, and my employee is not data. Okay, there is no designation called C. There is a designation called SC, or there is a designation called CA. Okay, let us suppose CA. Okay, C small a I am giving. Yes, now it is getting only those records wherein designation is CA. Why? Because if you are giving, see, when you are giving with the hyphen W option, what happens? It looks for whole word called CA. So in the other lines, no, wherein if you are not giving hyphen W, see, salab, all those things, no, in those lines, word is not that CA, that pattern is not bound with non-word characters on both the sides, right? So it is a part of the word. So wherever the pattern is a part of the word, that will be removed from the scope. Hence we are getting the only those lines wherein CA is a designation. So this is a way of removing those CAs from the scope, wherein CA is a part of the word. So I believe you would have understood about the hyphen W option. Okay, so look for the whole word match. Next, there is an option called hyphen X option. What is the significance of the hyphen X option? Let me tell you. grep. Okay, I want to look for ABCD. Okay, I want to look for something like computer. Okay, then I am giving my computer, or this is computer. Yes, but fine. Wherever I am given, wherever the computer word computer is there, yes, it displays in that line. Okay, this computer is mine. Fine. Okay. So if computer is there in that line, yes, it matches. But my requirement is that okay, whichever line contains just computer, that only I want to match. I don't want to match wherever the computer is there. I don't want to match. So for that requirement, what I can do means grep -x computer. Now you type my computer, it won't match. This is computer, it won't match. Just computer, it will match. So whichever line contains exactly that pattern, that entire line should contain exactly that pattern. So what it will do when you are giving -x option, from among all the lines from the input file, okay, whichever line strictly contains only that pattern, only those lines would be matched. In that case, you can accomplish that with the -x option. With this, we are coming to the end of the today's session. Thank you. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye bye.